Welcome to another live sales training with a million-a-month sales team in the YouTube automation space. Today we cover a few things. That's going to be how to prevent and handle refunds. You see, as you up your close rate, something I see quite often is you actually start getting more people looking to back out because you're getting complete strangers are hopping on from cold traffic, hopping on, wondering what the fuck just happened because in less than 60 minutes, they've given you a credit card for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to prevent that and then also how to handle that if you fail at preventing it. The second thing we're going to cover is how to handle prospects that don't have much pain and how to close those regardless of that. And then third, how to handle prospects that usually hop on without pain and they have a lot of sales resistance and don't want to answer your questions or dive deep on any of that. So today we're going to cover all of that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Temple Naylor. I've been in high ticket sales for 8 years plus. I've sold everything from 5K fitness coaching to 80K B2B masterminds. You name it, I've sold it all. I've trained teams like Tai Lopez, Shetty, Matt Gray, Dickie Bush, Elon Gosh, all the biggest names in the space you could possibly imagine. So if you like sales training like this, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm just dropping years and years worth of sales training I've been doing the past couple of years completely for free on this channel. Once a video a week is what I'm gonna hold myself to. So if you have any questions off this, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll see you next week on the next video.
Yo guys, what's up?
What up, what up? How's everybody?
Doing good, man.
How are you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. All right.
Awesome.
Daniel is up. Let me pull this up. What was the deal with this call, man?
It went really well, but I still didn't feel. I definitely know there's some things missing from it. He closed and immediately refunded. So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like, and it's happened to me like, this is like the second time it's happened to me in the past week, and it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I'm telling them what they want to hear. Like, I'm hitting all the check marks, like Hell Island, Heaven Island, and all that. But like, I don't know. It's almost like they come out of it and they're like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know what I just did. I want my money back.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
dude, I'll tell you what. We used to have this issue on our B2C offer tremendously, and we fixed it. And then I had a client that had this for his B2C offer. He was getting 30 refund requests a month, so basically literally one a day. And we did some implementation, and guess what he got the next month? 0. And he's been holding under 3 every single month so far. So let's go through this, and I'll tell you exactly what we're doing here, and then what else I'm seeing on top of that. I'm just listening a little bit of discovery, not to critique you. I just want to understand who the prospect is, and then I want to, most importantly, hear how you closed out the call.
Okay.
So. Is this the right one? Yeah.
My sound's on here.
Can you hear me all right?
Can't hear you for some reason, but let me make sure that it's not my end.
Okay.
I think it might be. I just switched 1 second. Okay, there we go.
Is that better?
Okay, can you hear me? There we go. There we go. Yeah, my audio was set to my microphone, which is obviously not not ideal. So we're here now,
No
man.
worries.
How you doing today?
Good, good. How about you?
I'm doing amazing. Are you at a workspace right now?
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles, and I have this like co-working office just a few blocks down from my house, so it's really convenient.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never actually worked in one of those, but I would imagine it's just like well, I don't know how long you've been working at co-working spaces, but like I have my little basement, this habitat, and I've had a bunch of people recommend that I like have a change of scenery every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I had like a nice big house in Portland, Oregon before I moved here, and I had my own office set up. And honestly, like there was never a point to going anywhere else. You know, like I have everything I need, but here we have like a much smaller house, so I'm like, oh my god, I need it. I get why people come here. You know.
Yeah. What brought you to Los Angeles?
I actually got back together with my girlfriend, and we got pretty serious. So I was like, okay, I'll move. You know, I'm flexible. So.
That's awesome. So I'm assuming you're not new to the Zoom thing. Do you work remote or what do you do?
Yeah, I work remotely for DuckDuckGo. It's like an internet privacy company, and I've
Okay.
been there for 6 years now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to my call, Azad. My name is Daniel. I'm actually the head coach here at Freedom Accelerator.
Mhm.
And I normally don't take these calls just because I'm busy with like client success stuff and helping Paul with this company, but we just had a ton of conversation for a solution, like bridging a gap from where you're at to where you.
And yeah, I don't know. I've always sort of been like a hustler and that type of person that, you know, I'm always like working to increase my income. And And then it sort of occurred to me recently, I was like, why am I sort of like playing with chump change, like trying to get these increments of like 10K more, 10K more, every 6 months at work or whatever. And, I've thought about like taking on more freelance work, which is what I've done in the past, but I really want something that I can ideally like automate to some degree and sort of let some of that income come in residually without having to put, another like full-time job's worth into it. Like I said, I mean, at least ideally like once things are up and running. And so I've sort of been like playing around with different ideas for that, but a lot of the things that I've like read just don't seem like they yield enough of like a positive benefit, like all the like Amazon dropshipping and blah 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 and all those things that I've like looked into. It's like, okay, great, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna get me where I want to be.
Yeah.
So when I came across this, I was sort of intrigued, and I just thought I'd reach out and see what the whole deal is.
I get it, and it's funny, man, because you can think of like all these new, like you can think of different ways to make more money, but there's not a lot of ways to make money without just trading your time. Like you mentioned, freelance work, which is an amazing side hustle, like, and you can get paid a ton for that, but you're still just trading time. And that comes up for a lot of like. I surprisingly talk to a lot of high-level executives at like publicly traded companies that you've heard of that say the exact same thing as you. It's like, well, look, people pay me a lot for my time when I'm not at work, at Meta or Microsoft or Amazon, wherever. But it's just like I'm still taking time away from myself for money, and that's not where I want to be. So this offers people a way to really take their throughput to the highest revenue generating activities and compound their time. And I saw on your application you've got some goals, man. I guess the girlfriend situation is working out because in your application it said you'd like to buy a house in LA. So
yeah, we're planning our wedding right now, which is great, and like I have thankfully like I have the cash to pay for the wedding out of pocket, but afterwards like I'd really like to be able to pay myself and ourselves back quickly and generate some like savings, and it'd be great if we could like buy a house and stop renting here.
Yeah,
that'd be huge.
So talk to me about like what is your current work like? What do you do there?
So right now I do market research. So it's a lot of basically like it's a lot of like statistics and survey work and UX type of research and interviews with people who are like users or potential users. But like my days are really flexible. So there's some days where I work like an hour a day, or some days where I work like 4 hours a day. But I have so much free time, like because I can just get a lot done in a short amount of time, and then I'm not like bogged down by meetings. Which is another reason why I was like, okay, great, like I have the time to invest in getting something else up and running. I just have to find the right thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So really, like because I like to ask questions about like, do people like their job? Do they like it there? Because as you can imagine, I talk to a lot of people that are just fighting to get out of the way to make money. But right out of the gate, I wasn't really getting that vibe from you. I feel like for you, you cracked earned income within the corporate scene. This is just like getting more out of the same amount of time. And I mean, especially if you're super flexible at work. I mean, 4-hour work days are nice. I mean, once our students get to a certain point, like once everything's, you're really only looking at a few hours a week. So, and I mean, this is something I don't know what you make, but I mean, oftentimes with this, we'll just continue to grind and continue to build. Oftentimes they can match their income and even surpass it. I've had people come here with the intention of just simply supplementing their income, and then a year later, they're just like, actually, I'm going to quit my job and go all in on YouTube. Out of curiosity, like, what is your vision? Do you always like, do you eventually want to go into business for yourself? Do you always see yourself working in corporate America? What do you think the vision is there?
Yeah, I think I'll always like maintain a full-time job, remotely, ideally.
Yeah.
I think like just the benefits are good, and I like having like the sense of stability, but if it's increasingly variable in today's. But I don't see myself like fully stopping that, but I do feel like I've gotten promoted like every 6 months basically since I started, but I feel like I'm about to hit a plateau where like if I don't want to take on a tremendous amount more responsibility, like I'm gonna get capped out where I'm at now, and so that's sort of also why I'm like, okay, like let me diversify my streams.
Yeah. I mean, how does that sit with you? I mean, is that okay where you're at to get capped out, or is that something that bothers you?
It's okay for now because I don't want to take on like I don't want to have so much more responsibility that I add like hours of work to my day.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like the amount of time I work and what I make is like far more than fair.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to compromise that right now.
Sure, I get it. Yeah. So what's your big vision then? Like, I guess what I want to do is, we don't just help people build wealth. Like the reason that we built this company, the reason that our vision is what it is because we want to help people step into a version of their lives that they dream of having.
Yeah.
And so I guess what does that look like for you?
I mean, I think for me, it's like very heavily motivated by my fiance, the family that we want to build. We want to have like at least 2 kids.
Obviously, we have outliers, but I would say that the normal range, like the average range, is anywhere from like 6 to 15 grand per month. So I'm really excited. If that was your realistic goal, I'm really excited to hear the one where it's just like, sky's the limit. What's that goal look like?
It'd be great if I could like match my salary in a year.
Okay. What do we have to do to get there? To get you there?
That would be like 233.
Oh, nice. To have it made in the shade is capture a sliver of market share.
Right.
And then from there, I mean, you can start multiple channels. I'm sure you can handle that.
Yeah.
Basically, we want to see that they can provide a sample of their work as it pertains to your project, and it's just got to be the right fit. So you'll follow our process. And the hardest thing about that, man, is like once you have a talent pool, it's just you're gonna have more than one person that you really like for each position. The hardest part is just you can only bring one home with you, which is an amazing problem to have. So that's how we handle that. Everything step by step. Does that clear up for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, like I said, man, I'm your absolute best source of information. I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, so I'm an open book. So you don't have to reserve questions for like. I want you. This goes back to you guys. $US, brother.
Okay.
Sold. That plan now is just $7,500 US, brother.
Okay.
Sold.
And how does that work in terms of payment?
We accept briefcases full of cash. Okay. we also, but most people feel most comfortable with a credit card because it has an added layer of security. So I have a fully secured online point of sale system called Stripe. And so you would just use a regular credit card through that.
Well, there's people in the waiting room.
There you go. And we get everything built. You have everything, and we would start immediately.
And then is there any kind of like guarantee?
There is a guarantee.
Yeah.
So the guarantee is this. Okay, if you're not monetized in 6 months, we're going to give you your money back. Okay. The catch is that you've got to make 12 videos in 90 days. That is like so freaking easy to do. Most people make like 30 videos within the first 90 days.
Okay.
Okay. And then that's it. Show up to 2 coaching calls a week, and they can be live or recorded. That's the only thing that require.
Okay, gotcha. And then if you're not monetized in 6 months, is there like a threshold on that?
No.
Is that like, I only made $1 or?
Monetization could mean like your first penny. Okay. But dude, if you make $1 after monetization, like there's something there's something like majorly wrong. It's usually not a mystery why that person isn't making money. Okay. YouTube only monetizes people that it thinks are actually going to generate revenue. Okay. This goes back to us making viral content. If you follow our stuff, your numbers will hit. Like you can't mess this up. Okay. Just literally do what we tell you to do. It is so freaking simple, man.
Yeah. So. Okay. And the process of like bringing in the creator, I'm imagining that person gets paid out of pocket by me, right? Yeah.
And the best part about it is, I mean, one of these videos can be made for like 60 to 80 bucks per unit. Okay. Like a really, really quality video is $80. I'm not like an insane quality video is around 100, which is not necessary. But yeah, you're not going to be using spoiled freelancers from LA. You're going to be using like up and comers in like Indonesia and the Philippines and places where they have really, really strong attributes, but your currency is very strong compared to their currency. So you can get it done on the cheap.
Right. Okay.
National business, brother.
Yeah, that's why I figured it was something like that. But okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, so then what are the next steps?
Next steps are I'm going to open up a chat window and I'll drop the payment link. And then if you've got time, man, I'd love to personally get you access to all of this stuff. And then we can just ride off into the sunset together. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds good. Yeah. Can you actually, because I'm doing this on my phone, can you email me the link instead of dropping it in the chat?
Yeah, no worries. Give me a second here. So your email I have is azad@duck.com.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. So let's do that.
Does everything else get started?
Immediately. It's going to happen on this phone call.
And once the payment, how quickly does everything else get started?
Immediately. It's going to happen on this phone call. Yeah. And then let's see. Okay. So I just sent. There's nothing in the body except for the links.
I see there.
Okay, cool.
Is the first one the payment one?
Yes, the one that says T1.
Okay, yeah, I see it there. Yeah.
That's the first one. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to send some messages. One of the other things that we'll do, this is just like an extra thing I like to do. I'm going to have one of our VAs start a group chat in Instagram with me, you, Paul, and Andrea. I like to have a place where we can all communicate, at least until you're fully received by client success.
Gotcha.
And then let me see. And your Instagram is just Earth Radio Human Music, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And do people have to like change? Do they have to have any kind of like social presence or no?
No.
Okay.
No, in fact, for the Facebook group, like you don't have to. If you just want to use like a different Facebook, you want to keep your anonymity there. I can support you there. It just kind of depends on the person.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm here, man. I'm just gonna play a
I
little
don't think that's the reason they're getting charged Rex here. We'll play the rest.
background music to cut through the silence here.
No, you're good. It's just like the spinning wheel. Okay, all right, cool. You just went through.
Yep, I see it. Awesome, brother. Welcome to the Thunderdome. So now what I want you to do is that next link as the Facebook group. Go ahead and request access to that. No need to answer all those questions. Just put your name and send it.
Okay, 1 sec. No, it's not bringing it up for some reason.
The Facebook link?
Yeah, I think it might just be the service here is not good.
Okay. Okay. Well, no, if we can't get that, that's not like earth-shatteringly vital right this second. Try if you can get it to work, if cool. If not, just go ahead and move to that next link.
Yeah, the next one worked.
Cool. So yeah, just put your username and password, and then let me know when that's done because I'm sitting on standby. I'll need to unlock that for you.
All right, cool.
It's like this. Once you hit $5,000 in recurring revenue, as long as you hit that within 12 months, which is like so easy to do, so please make that your goal at minimum. Once that happens, you'll have the option of a refund in full, or you can, I will ascend you into our inner circle program at no additional charge. We'll teach people how to scale to 6 figures per month. That's like a completely different animal, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there because it's a lot, but you've got that option, man.
All right, so let's fucking do it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So
all right, cool. I said did the registration on that.
Awesome, man. Okay. So go ahead and book your onboarding call. That's that last link there.
All right.
All right. You book onboard call.
So then, and then keep your eyes peeled for a group chat in IG. So it'll show up in your message requests. Okay. That'll happen today. I'm actually, as soon as we get off here, I'm going to send that to team. And so all you got to do, send back your agreement, keep your eyes peeled for message requests in Instagram. And then I want to give you a little bit of homework if that's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you book that onboarding call, by the way?
Tomorrow at 11.
Okay, sick. So before tomorrow at 11, get through module 1, module 2 as you can. If you get through all of module 2 and you're just an absolute beast and you just blow through it, fine. It'll prompt you to book your first one-on-one. If you get there, go ahead and book it. Just make sure you book it for after your onboarding call, which I think that'll happen naturally. But so yeah, just get through as much of module 1 and 2 as you can, and then book that call if you get that far. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Other than that, you're good to go. I also want to give you my personal cell.
Sure.
Just because now I brought you through, man. Now I feel like I've got an emotional interest in your well-being, and yeah, I do not give that out to everybody. Not everybody's qualified to have that, so you get some special treatment.
Yeah, it's just because I mentioned Italy, right?
It is, dude, and I plan on inviting myself. But you know, some people I'm just like, I'm gonna give you my email. I don't know, like I'm so responsive regardless, but you get the drill.
Yeah,
Other than that, man, you are all set. Azad, welcome again to the family. You're gonna have an absolute blast here. We're gonna make some money together. Hopefully, we'll be traveling together at some point. Do you have any other last-minute honest thoughts, questions, compliments for me before we get off here and I get the rest of the stuff going for you?
No, I mean, I like your energy. You have great energy, and I feel like you answered my question.
Okay, man. So good news is it's not something that you're doing. So you don't have to change that. It's something you're not doing. Okay. So before we get into that, I'm happy to tell you exactly what that is. I want to ask Angela here, can you, or anyone really, can you screen share and show me the intro and onboarding module in the course?
Yeah, let me pull that up. So for the onboarding, we don't have a link or a video or anything that they see for the onboarding. We're actually building that out right now. So typically what happens is once they sign up, they book their onboarding call with the welcome email that they receive, and then they get on an onboarding call with Anna. She orientates them and then she gets them started. So everything's done with a coach. That's not automated right now.
Okay. And are clients refunding before the onboard call or after the onboard call?
He refunded before. My last girl refunded right after.
What's the other one?
It's usually like the one before that. It was just like it was after. But it seems like I have the highest frequency of refunds as of the last 30 days. I know, yeah, like it's just like boom, boom, boom. Now, one of those people is probably not a good fit. But I mean, if you show up to my call, you're gonna get closed. So,
Okay.
So yeah, and
Good.
Also, one last detail, that last part is not even that's not typically the way that we do things. So usually it's we take payment and then, hey, we're going to part ways for now so I can jump on my next call. Keep your eyes peeled for an onboarding email. It's going to have access links to the Facebook group, the modules, and it's also going to prompt you to book an onboarding call. So like usually we part ways. I just wanted to go the extra mile and give him a little white glove experience and bring him aboard since I had time and I struck oil so early in the call. But normally we just take payment and we bounce.
Yeah. So for saving time here, like I would want to do a deep dive in the course, like the onboard call. So Angel or whoever it would be responsible, I guess. So what I would do is I would go back. So the first thing you got to do is like when it comes to any problem that is in the business, you have to get data first. Okay. So what we don't want to do is like, yeah, I'm having some refunds, some refund post onboard, some refund don't below. It's kind of like all over the place. Like it's not usually all over the place. There's usually a leniency towards something. So, and this is not like Bash and Daniel here. This is just more of your job, Angel. Is like what we need to do is get the data and figure out where is the leakage in the pipe, so to say. Like where is the actual part of the process where people are dropping off statistically the most. Okay, usually the culprits are, one is when they join, there's either not enough in the onboarding module where it gets them going, gets them excited, and keeps their commitment, or two, there's too much, and it actually seems super overwhelming, and they get all freaked out, and then they quit.
So
So yeah.
I think that's the latter one, Temple. I want to say it's the information overload and the bookings and having to be somewhere. And it's like, holy shit, I probably bit off more than I can chew. This is turning into something that could be a little harder than I anticipated and becoming a little bit more than I thought I can commit to. Um, this is why we're taking away the onboarding call process right now, and we're going to streamline it where it's not going to require somebody to go immediately book more time out of their calendar, spend another 45 minutes with somebody, and then have the touch point of having another coach overwhelm them with more information, because that's not highly duplicable. So anyhow, we're actually doing that right now. We just had a meeting this morning where we want to streamline the onboarding process and make it as simple as possible so they can get started faster without friction.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to keep in mind too, the onboarding calls do help a lot of times. They're actually done really well. They do more good than bad. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, so it goes to something with the actual course material itself. So that's the first thing to look at. Second thing is actually the onboard call. For example, as CSMs, some CSMs have higher refunds off onboard calls, some don't. So all we do is we just do a deep dive on that too. So it's like, for example, okay, we're getting a lot of refunds post onboard call. Who's actually getting the most refunds on those? Which manager, which CSM is doing that? Okay, let's listen to their onboard calls. What is actually happening? So it's like doing a deep dive on all that first. That's the first thing, and that's like a your end. I would get on that immediately. Second end is actual responsibility of the closers, so aka Daniel and everyone else on here, right? So the way you got to look at it is like, this is what I do is, dude, honestly, this just happens. B2C is when you actually get good at, like, what's your closing rate, for example?
Right now I'm at like 36, 37%.
Doesn't surprise me. So like, you're really good, right? B2C, 37% is fucking strong. So when you get that good at sales, what happens is you get people that, yeah, they hop off the call, and the same thing that you said earlier, like, what the fuck just happened? I just hopped on, and I just gave my credit card and paid all this money out of nowhere, was not expecting that. That just happens. That's part of being a good closer. So don't complain about that. That's a good thing. All you have to do, man, is add things on top of it to make sure we're compensating for that situation outcome. So there's two frames we did on our B2C offer, because go figure, right? We train salespeople. But our closing team was really good on the front end offer as well. They were closing around 55, 60% on front end cold beer traffic. And their refund rate was incredibly high. At one point, it was literally like at 26%. It was massive. So did Cole like freak out on the whole sales team and tell him, oh, you're terrible, like, really, these refunds? They're like, no. I was like, dude, you guys are crushing it. He's like, you guys are like closing people that are not even closable. Like, it's honestly impressive. So it's not a bad thing. I want to make sure we're all for the right frame of mind. So what we got to do is just make sure we're helping the people that we're closing at a really hard rate. So all that is, man, is two frames. So the end of the call, once you collect payment, once you get the onboard call scheduled, next steps, whatever, blah, blah, doesn't matter. Then you do these last two frames. It's like, okay, hey, before you go, can I give you a little bit of coaching? And they're going to say yes. I'm like, okay, so like, I assume it's like kind of first ever big business endeavor of some kind, right? And they're like, yeah, totally right over, right? Like, okay, gosh, so can I just tell you from experience what's going to happen? And they say yes. I'm like, so what's going to happen is you're going to hop off this call. You're all excited, pumped up now, as you should be, but you're going to hop off sometime later today, tomorrow, whenever it may be, but it's going to happen. There's going to be this little voice, and it's going to creep up in the back of your head. And what that little voice is going to sound like is, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we could do that on our own a little bit first. Maybe we should try it first before we do a program like this and like that. Maybe, yeah, that was a lot of money. I wasn't expecting to pay that. Maybe I should have looked at my finances. Now's not a good financial time. I should save up some more money first. It's going to be something along the lines of that. What is that voice? It's doubt. Okay. Now, I want to give you a secret. Everyone has that voice, even the most successful people on earth. But can I ask you something? Do you think the most successful people on earth listen to that little voice when it comes up? Do you think when Patrick Mahomes is going in for the Super Bowl, that little voice group's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you're off today, your game's off. You're probably not going to win this one today. Something's off today. Do you think he listens to that? Or do you think he just goes out and performs a crush? Do you think when Elon Musk is having 6 businesses and 4 of them are facing massive bankruptcy and he's sleeping on the floor of the kitchen trying to figure out how he can somehow get profitable next year, do you think he has a little voice creeping up? Yeah, probably. It's probably the main voice he has, right? But does he listen to it? No. Same goes for all the clients in the program. Every single program or every single client in our program that's came through that you see on our testimonial page, that you see on our VSL, they've all had that same little voice. So I want to ask you, when that little voice comes up, are you going to listen to it? And usually at that point, they'll be like, damn, like, hell no, there's no way I'm listening. I'm like, damn straight, cool, awesome. Can I leave you off with a little bit of homework to do here? And then I go into the second frame. Before I go into the second frame, does the first frame make sense?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Yeah, because all we're doing here, guys, is we know an objection's going to pop up. So what we're doing is we're planting our own seeds to handle that objection so we can objection handle in his or her head not having to be on the call.
It's funny.
Now
I always use that. I always use that when I can't get a sale. I'll tell them, be like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, as soon as when I'm just circling and I'm fighting and they just
Sure.
can't get their own way, and I got another call coming up, I'll tell them, be like, hey, just when we get off this call, just so you know, you're gonna feel a sense of relief, and there's a little voice in the back of your head that's gonna be telling you like how good it feels to have gotten off this call, and that's called comfort. And that's where things go to die. That's where just this doesn't happen. And it's funny, but I've never even used that for like sealing the deal after I closed it. It makes so much sense.
Dude, it's so funny. Like you'll start doing this and you'll get text messages after. I'm not even joking. Like, hey, just want to let you know, like I started that little voice popped up, but like I shut that thing up. Like I'm in charge. I'm doing this. And it's like you'll get like all these text people like all hyped up. Like B2C is just so funny, man. So it's like you got to just like do that and like pre-handle the objection. And now when that voice does come up and like the doubt does come up post hopping off the call, you're gonna seem like a genius because like you predicted the future and all this, and like they're just gonna like your leadership to just go up. And then it's funny, like it's a reverse. Like the trust for the program skyrockets even more when they get doubt because you called it out in advance, right? So it's kind of like the same thing as like, you know, like if you ever had a friend and they did something, you're gonna go to do something stupid and you knew it was so stupid, and you're like, dude, like if you told them it was stupid, now like when it happens, they do it, and like now they look at you as like you're smart and like, you should listen to you. When you don't tell them it's stupid, what do? Come back to you right away, angry at you, right? So it's just like getting ahead of it. That's all it is. So that's the first frame. The second frame is really important as well. We all do this. So you say, okay, gotcha. I'm going to give you some homework. So alongside, you know, onboard, book an onboard call, first video in the course, whatever it is that you guys are doing, this is what I want you to do. This is what you use to combat this little voice, okay? I want you to sit down, pull out a pen and paper immediately after hopping off this call. I want you to pull out a pen and paper, and I want you to write a letter to your future self. What's at stake if you don't actually complete this mission and you don't complete this end goal? What your life is going to look like otherwise. And I want to get as detailed and raw as personal as possible in this letter because it's just to yourself, no one else. Can I get your commitment? You're going to do that. Okay, cool. Can I tell you how you're going to use that letter? Okay, when things come up in business, pass the little voice. When you launch a couple of YouTube videos, they don't get the success you're looking for. You get a channel, it's popping, you're starting to make money, it gets shut down, you have to restart. Whatever hardship that comes up in business, what happens in any business, by the way. The moment that's going to keep you together, keep you pushing through, is rereading that letter and reminding yourself your commitment to yourself. So when I get your word, you're going to write that. Okay, cool. What I want you to do is send me a picture of the letter. Once you actually have it written out, to make sure you did it, just text it over to me. Can I get your commitment there? Okay, cool. And then we like essentially hop off. And then again, you're gonna get all these texts from B2C, like people like writing out these letters, sending it to you, and all that. It's like super fun. They get super into it. And then we just did those 2 frames. Refunds dropped just like that. Gone. It worked for us. I implemented it with another client. Gone, just like that. So that's what I would do in terms of protecting refunds. It's twofold. one, our sales management needs to dive into the data. Are people dropping off post onboarding intro modules? Are they dropping off post onboarding calls? If it's post onboarding calls, who's actually account manager? What are they saying in the last 20 minutes of the account manager call? Like, we need to find that data. On the closing side, we need to do what we call the button up. That's what Cole calls it. Takes an extra 5-10 minutes. Just a heads up, you're going to be late for your next call, but it's better being late for the next call and not having a refund than not being late and having a refund. Okay, so it takes a little extra time. Just know that. But we did that, and now we run over for every freaking call just about because we close everyone. But it's fine. People are never upset when you run over. It actually creates demand. Funny enough, it's like, wow, people are busy, like signing up, etc. And I literally just text them that. I text that in my next call and I say, hey, running a couple minutes behind. Person just signed up. Want to make sure they're all taken care of.
Strong.
And now it's like I'm creating demand. You know what I'm saying? Social proof.
Yep.
So that's the way you want to go about it. And that's just the easiest way to decode this. So I would do that. Now, here's the deal. There's going to be times where you do everything perfectly because that's how this world works, right? And you still get a refund. So how you handle the refund is everything. How are you handling the refund right now?
Dude, if I try to get them on the call, try to get them on the phone, I'll just call them. I'll just call them. I'll double tap. I'll double tap. And then like, hey, can you get on a call? Sometimes they'll be like, sometimes they know it's coming and they're just like, I don't want to talk. I know it's coming. Like, just give me my money. Don't talk to me. And then I'll message them back. I'll be like, can you humor me and go through the first couple of weeks of this and actually put in some reps? And if you hate it, I will refund. And that's usually my last ditch effort.
Okay. Yeah. So the good, better, and best, right? So it's not bad, but we can definitely make that better and best. So if you gotta look at it from a different perspective, man, all you have to look at it as, man, is like you just have to do a second sales call. That's literally it. So the first thing is like you're handling this over the phone, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, never handle refund request guys over text, email, any form of written communication. Worst possible thing you could do. Has to be over the phone. Okay? So you get them on the phone, and then from there, we don't have a ton of time to go through this, so I'll just more give you this, guys. But I gave this to that other client that had the refund issue in terms of how to do saves, and they save 100% of refunds just about now. Maybe they're at like 90%, but they're right there. So I created this whole save refund SOP, and a lot of clients have been using it and loving it. But like I had the mindset of how to think about going into the refund call. Okay. Then I have the actual structure. So you got to have some quick rapport, starting the conversation in a neutral tone. You want to emphasize with them to eliminate any remaining charge they have. Now that they feel heard and neutral, you bring them back into the buying zone because someone's in the refund, wanting a refund, they're not in the buying zone. So we got to get them back in the buying zone. Then I'm going to shrink their objections, and then I'm going to chip away at what's left of the remaining objection. And then I have some additional frames that you can do on top of it to close out the deal. This is like a really good SOP. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can read through it. It says exactly what it is. So I'll just drop this in the Zoom chat. But everyone should definitely open this up and save it. Hit file, make a copy.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate the in-depth. Yeah, we've probably still got time for another call review too. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. We got 5 minutes. We don't have time for another call review, but I got.
Oh, we do have 5 minutes.
Okay.
I thought we had 25 minutes. My bad.
No, you're good, man. You're good. But ask any questions you have, guys. It could be about this, something completely wildly different.
Yeah, I think the other thing that was, I don't know if it was hit or not because it was skimmed through, but it sounded like a decent call, man. It sounded like everything went well. The only thing that came to mind was that he's getting married. Doesn't sound like his wedding or his fiance. I know he mentioned that he's going to pay it in cash. And I don't know how strong he is with his partner, but the only thing that I can think of is that he went back to her and said, hey, I just spent $7,500. And she probably said, what the fuck did you just do? We have a wedding coming up. You better come back and go get a refund. So I think maybe that could have been hit a little bit more with trying to dig into, hey, where are you getting married? How's that working out? Are you able to make this happen right now without causing any stress on your finances, blah, 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 just to take away that objection. more than anything, because that's the only one that I'm thinking probably could have been the case with him. I don't know if you brought his fiance into the equation, if she's supportive of him doing this all. Whenever they mention somebody like that, I just try to get in and eliminate those objections from even coming up in the future or even during the closing part. But that's the only thing that I would suggest probably could have been done a little bit more. If it wasn't, I don't know, because it was fast forwarded.
It wasn't. And the other thing, Temple, I'm curious what you think about, like, sometimes I talk to guys that are just operating from a place of abundance. Like, this guy's making nearly $250,000 a year. He's working 1 to 4 hours a day, just has the most cush corporate job ever. I mean, it's not a lot of pain there. And you'll notice, like, in the calls, it's like, how does that sit with you? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's pretty dope, actually. It's like, in those cases, like, I mean, I kind of just moved away from it and just went to the gain. I felt like I skipped over Hell Island. What are your honest thoughts about that?
Yeah, man. Well, one, you closed it, so you know better than anyone else for that call specifically. However, the way you want to look at it generally when people don't have quote unquote pain, I always want to say be careful saying that and explaining that, because for someone, especially a guy, right? For someone to go out of their way, book a call with a complete stranger, hop in front of a video camera looking like a dummy, and then telling another man that they need help is pretty difficult to do. So if someone's going to go through all that trouble, there's probably some pain there that motivated them to do that, right? So that's the first thing, is like always be careful regarding that. I mean, dude, like okay, put it this way. As a closer, dude, I was making $35K a month on average in commissions. I hated it at the very end. I love being a closer. Don't get me wrong, I did it for 5 years. I loved every bit of it. Last 6 months, it was like my worst ever nightmare. I hated closing because I was just burnt out. I did it for so long, dude. So I was good at it. Yeah, I was making a lot of money. I had a flexibility in schedule. Like, I was traveling 5-6 times a year, but I hated it. So you got to look at it that way too. Just because someone's doing well doesn't mean that they're happy. That you have to be aware. Because I would never talk bad about my job. Because if I hopped on a call and you're like, what's the worst part about that? Or how does that feel sitting? I was like, well, the role's actually pretty dope. Like, making 35 a month, make fun of the schedule. I'm not going to complain about the role, right? I'm going to complain about my state of mind of where I'm at in my career, which is like feeling burnt out, feeling low energy, feeling like I'm not going anywhere next, that there's not a next step, whatever it may be. So that's the number one thing. However, there are some people, though, that you hop on and there's actually not a crazy amount of pain there. So the way you got to look at that is it's need or greed. So people either have a strong need or they have a strong greed. So if I hop on, for example, a PDB offer and someone's doing like $500K a month, I'm not going to make that person cry, right? They can hop off, not buy, and they're still going to make $500K next year. Big whoop-de-doo. Yeah, their life sucks. It feels so bad for them. So it's like there's no pain really to get there. But what I can do is I can find out, okay, gotcha. You're at $500K a month. You want to be at $800K a month, and you don't know how to get there quicker, and you don't know what's missing. That's where I come in. And that's where my pitch is now going to be worth $20,000 because I'm showing him a problem, how to solve to get to $800K. So it's like, you see, it wasn't a big native greed. It was more of like not having something he knows he can have. That's what I would focus on. So if someone like this is like, I would just like, and you can always lean out too. And that's a really good frame, is like to lean out and just act confused. Like, you act confused and skeptical. So I would like hop on, I was like, dude, can I just ask you a personal question? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I don't even like confused on why you're here, to be honest with you. It's like, you got a great job, great pay. Seems like your life stuff's good, getting married soon. It's like, why even waste your time? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like, starting a new endeavor, though we give you the roadmap, everything you need, step by step, all the consulting support you need, it's still gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. So it's like, what's the point of even doing that? And then like, I'm kind of pushing for them to not do it in a way. And what happens is, by me doing that, then they're forced to come back. No, you don't understand. I need to do it because of this and this and this. And then now they're leaned in. And then I can just immediately go back into the sales call, how I was. So that's the other frame to look at it as in terms of how to approach it.
What about this, Temple? Cool question. What if you're having a conversation with someone and is like, there's a bit of like, pushback, and the person is not opening up too much to you? and you're just kind of like just too focused on just what do you guys do? You know what I mean? Like you sometimes I met someone like that and I don't know what really to do. It's like I'm trying to dig deeper, but it just seems like the guy kind of doesn't want to go too deep there. What do you do? Have you ever experienced that?
It's usually, man, and then I gotta hop on this next call. It's usually when someone doesn't want to answer questions, is because they know the sales call, and then answering you has no benefit to them, only to you. So, for example, if you go into the doctor's office and with 3 minutes, the doctor can ask you some like pretty grotesque personal questions, and you'll answer them 100% truthfully. Why? Because you know answering the doctor benefits you, and you get better support that way. So it's the same thing for a sales call. It's like if they're not wanting to answer questions, they don't think answering these questions benefits them. They just think they're in a sales call, especially someone more sophisticated in their career, etc. So then all you got to do is give them reason on why they're answering the question for it. So I was like, hey, to give you a heads up, what we do is a bit custom and different for every single client that comes to us. Some clients come to us, they're already really successful, doing 7 figures. They just kind of want to add another asset class to their business and automate it. Some people come to us, have zero experience whatsoever, working as a cashier at Walmart, and they want to start their first ever endeavor to get out of this. As you can imagine, the advice and the implementation we give both those two people are wildly different and everyone between. So opposed to spend like 2 hours telling you every little thing we could help you do, why don't you just allow me to ask you a couple quick questions and I can see exactly what we'd have to be benefits to you and exactly what it would cost.
So you reset the expectation of the call.
Yeah, I'm just giving them context and want to answer the question. Yeah. I got to hop to the next one, guys. I'm sorry, I'm 2 minutes late. But